My name is Ryan and I'm in recovery. I've been thinking a bit today about some of the other things that were kind of problematic that were attached to my using. So as I mentioned in other videos, I had kind of a bit of almost like a ritual. When I would be using cocaine, I would make sure I kind of cleared time in a diary. A lot of the time that would be by lying to, I'd say to like my girlfriend, oh, I'm going to go see my family. I'd tell my family I'm seeing my girlfriend, and it would give me like a window of time where I could just lock myself away and take cocaine. What I'd do, I'd go and meet my dealer and I'd pick up, normally, depending on bank balance or various other things, normally like an 1/8 or a quarter of cocaine. I would go and go to my flat, lock my door, turn my phone off, put the blinds down and start just using. And I would take, at the peak of my using, I would take really, really high quantities. Sometimes like a gram in one line or a gram in a couple of lines, and then I'd literally just sit, feel like I was going to have a heart attack. My arms would go numb, my heart would be pounding out of my chest, my throat would swell up to the point where I couldn't even drink a glass of water, I couldn't speak and nothing. And I would genuinely, sometimes I'd try and keep my phone near me so that I could call 999 if I thought I was going to have a heart attack, because it genuinely felt like I came close a few times. And yeah, I would do this, do 1 gram in a line or a couple of lines, ride out the feeling of having a heart attack, and as soon as it started to wear off and I felt like I was able to kind of breathe again, I would do it again and go back under and back into that feeling of my arms going numb and everything else. And I would literally just do that for like sometimes up to like 3 days with no sleep, barely any water or anything. And just think of what that does to your body, like the effects it has on you physically as well as mentally. Another thing that would happen is every muscle in my body would feel like it was tensing constantly. So it was just exhausting. Like, after them 3 days, I would barely be able to lift my head up. I'd barely be able to move. I would just be in my bed. And what I would tend to do once I was finished with that kind of particular bender is I would get really hungry, but all I would crave was like, crappy food, like fast food. So I would use Uber Eats or delivery or whatever, and I'd order like big quantities of like KFC, pizza, just fried junk food basically. Binge it, eat it to the point where I don't think I was ever actually sick on it, but the point where I felt really, really sick, and I would then kind of, be doubly messed up because I was, filled with horrible food, as well as the coming down off the coke and the physical exhaustion and mental anxiety and all these different things that I had. And it was just, it was horrific. I struggled now when I think about it. I can't understand this behaviour. I mean, through therapy, I've learned a lot of reasons why I maybe did it, and I can talk about them more in other videos. But I just wanted to share that because it's something that now that I've been clean for a little while and I'm in a better place mentally, it just seems like total madness. What's also striking for me is, through going to NA meetings, through going to rehab, through meeting other people with addictions, the patterns are so similar. Like, the end of the road seems to just be this isolation, this heavy using to the point where you're like in pain, but you still do it. You just do it over and over again. Like, it's madness really, and it makes no sense.